just keep washing it, rinse and repeat.
Right.
Anyways, it's just silliness. Silliness.
Howdy, everybody. What?
Is that me? That's not me.
It's you now. Okay.
I did mute. I thought I did.
That was me. Maybe the both of us.
Oh, okay.
Whistling though. Kidding. It was Landon's dog, I think.
Yes.
Or my
See,
dog.
Fire of Yah is on me.
Right?
Fire of Yah is on me.
Yeah, I think.
Hey, get it? Get it?
I don't understand.
Sorry.
Okay, let's go. Let's get this rolling. People have been working,
All right.
and the show is
Yeah.
starting later because most of America isn't hot enough to not have daylight savings time. So let's go.
Whatever. You can't blame it on me. Okay. Anyway. Oh.
Exodus chapter 1.
All
That's
right.
what it means. So what do we have? What do we have? Huh? Okay, starts off with they're growing. They're waxed exceeding mighty.
Yep.
I have to go back because I'm still on 5.
Right? In verse 10 of chapter 1, so get them up out of the land. So this is one of the things I noted. And or I didn't note. I noted it when I was reading it. But somewhere along the way, maybe we'll find it. But this is not the guy that's Pharaoh when Moses returns.
Right. Yeah.
Goes back.
There's 2 Ramses. Yeah. I heard that before.
Well,
You-
I mean, it's in a later chapter, but it talks about that.
Yeah, I'll wait till we get there. And then I'll go, there it is. Okay. Anyways.
I don't know if he was an outsider or not.
And
What
again,
do you
I just want to look at that. It says these midwives were given houses. Right? They were made houses. Does that mean that they were like their family name was taken and put in amongst Israel?
I think the sun shines on the good and the evil.
Because they were definitely blessing Israel by not killing the males.
Yeah. So we don't know how far that is, but I mean. It's a good idea anyways. You know what I was thinking? I was thinking about how they were all in one spot. He didn't have to go around, the world to gather his people. They all were in one spot. He didn't have to go like northeast, southwest. All his people were in one spot. They hadn't, migrated much.
Right? No, not at all. So I wonder how long before the new Pharaoh came in was he an outsider? I've seen speculation that they were at war with the Assyrian, with Assyria, and that Assyria won, and they set up like a governor, and that's what they were calling Pharaoh at this time period. But I don't have a proof for that at this point in time. Okay, let's go to chapter 2, shall we? Because I know that since Gwen read this, she has a lot to say about it.
I do. Hang on a second. Yeah, I do.
That.
Oh, okay. Like one of the things, it's not really that important, but I mean, the fact that Moses was named not by a Hebrew woman.
But by.
So,
Pharaoh's daughter.
So Moses could potentially be like an Egyptian name, not, you know. But there was something else. Hang on, I was just gonna wages. They got paid. The family got paid for some, I don't know, there's something interesting there about how the family got wages for paying for taking care of Moses, like nursing him, right?
The mom got her wages for.
Yeah, there's something interesting there.
Back in chapter 1.
No, it's in 2. I thought.
Is it 2?
It's in 2. It's in 2, like chapter 9,
right.
verse 9.
Sorry.
I know what I'm talking about, at least this time anyway.
Okay.
It came to pass, days Moses grown and went out to his brother. Okay, anyways.
Okay.
There was something else there, but I can't quite remember. Did he grow up knowing that he was an Egyptian, or that he was that they were a Hebrew? It sounds like
he knew he was Hebrew, because it says in verse 11 that he saw the Egyptians smiting an Hebrew, one of his brethren. So I believe he knew he was Hebrew, but living in the house of Pharaoh.
Yeah. That's what it sounds like. It doesn't sound like there's any other details in there to imply anything else.
I mean, and it sounds like, I think maybe Pharaoh tolerated him because of his daughter. I don't know.
Maybe.
Well, I mean, ultimately in verse 15, he's really miffed.
Right.
You know, and he wants to kill Moses. So clearly there was no, I mean, it was either, you know, policy, or it was, you know, usually when you're, you know, up there in the ranking of, you know, kingship or in a royal family, you get a little bit of more protection than that. They cover your sins a little bit more.
Right.
There was no, it implies that anyway. Okay. Midian. Now, I find it interesting, like in verse 16, when it talks about the priest of Midian. Now, the priest of Midian was not a godly priest. He did not serve in any kind of, you know, Yahuwah ordained ministry or anything like that. Because there are, pardon?
Where are you getting that? What information?
Where? Okay, well, I mean, I don't know about Jethro per se, but I know Midian priests were not godly priests. They served other gods.
Multiple gods?
Yeah, is that polytheistic?
Right.
So there was this documentary that I was watching, and they were following archaeologists, and I mean, I totally could be wrong. I mean, it's been known to happen before, but they were following some of the journeys that the Israelites were making in the desert and towards close to the Red Sea. And then there was these different archaeological sites that were being found, like Solomon's pillars and other things, right? And then there was this whole area for the Midianite priesthood that used to do their worship there of their gods and their idols. So I'm not saying all Midianites, I'm just saying the Midianite people have a chunk of people that were polytheistic worshipers. So I haven't heard.
Maybe too that it is the scientists, quote unquote, doing this special, or like the same people that call the Sinai Peninsula, you know, that's where Mount Sinai is, when we're told quite plainly it's in Arabia. Right.
Maybe, like I said, I could be wrong. I just haven't heard of like a Midianite priest, the priest of Midian.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what did Abba establish a priesthood? He hasn't established any priest, huh?
He may have. It may have been not that he established it, but that there were people that knew there was one creator, God, and honored him. But I don't know. This is just all.
That would be great. Like, I mean, that is a possibility, sure.
That let's see here. Let me go through this slowly. I don't have anything else until 23. If you have anything in between there.
Just an interesting culture. We
It is.
kind of wander off into the wilderness and meet some people, do a nice favor, and they're like, "Hey, well, let's get you, married." With I don't know, it's just different. Just different.
It sounds like a place for some single men to go.
Swing on a shepherd, find a wife. Yeah.
Find a well.
Find a wife.
But you know what? Most women aren't doing work at a well, though.
All right. Verse 23. That's it. That's the one I was talking about. Right? And it came to pass in process of time that the king of Egypt died. And the children of Israel, this is what made me really question this. The children of Israel sighed by reason of the bondage. Right? Just think about that. All the people that go to work 9 to 5.
Yeah.
And they don't have any energy for anything else. They're like, oh, man. Well, I better go to bed after watching Netflix because I got to go back to work in the morning. I mean, that's probably everybody here. Except for Jasmine. She doesn't get any rest.
I feel like somebody punched me in the face.
Huh.
Which is interesting because, every time Abba hears her groaning, he's like, oh, they're complaining.
Oh, you think you've been punched in the face, huh? Wait till you feel this. All right, let's go to chapter 3. Let's see. 3. What is it he requests? Right? He's told the request from Pharaoh to go sacrifice to their God. 3 days journey in the wilderness.
It's quite a walk.
Is that right? Chapter 3? 3:13.
Well, it's enough. Like, I think, if I'm not mistaken, to hold all the people, you need a location to hold all the people, and a 3 days journey on the map from Egypt, this particular location towards where the Red Sea crossing is and so on. But the path that they took, a 3 days journey from Egypt, there is a location to hold all the people. That could be one reason.
Maybe. I wrote down the wrong verse, I think. But either way. 3 days journey go on foot. So on a good day, you're talking 15, 20 miles. So we're looking at 45 to 60 miles.
In reference to what the fire of Yah was saying.
I can't see the chat.
Take thine stinky sock off thine foot.
No.
The ground where you stand.
What she was saying is, she says in verse 5, taking shoes off. Does that mean when 2 or more of us are gathered in Yeshua, we should take our shoes off, holy ground? And then I showed my foot.
What if you meet at Starbucks?
What?
I said, what if you meet at Starbucks, right?
But we're not. We're meeting here. Let's not play with us.
Well, 2 or 3 people gathered in your name. I'm not taking my shoes off at Starbucks because we have had Bible meetings at Starbucks before.
I will pretty much take my feet off anywhere. My shoes off, my feet off. I won't take my feet off anywhere.
Too late. You already said it.
Exactly. Except I can't be barefoot today. Like, usually I'm even barefoot now, but I got so cold today. I was outside doing something and now I can't, I'm starting to get a little warm. My cheeks are. Anyways.
Right? Hey, Margaret snuck in. Okay. Anyways.
Not worthy to unbuckle his sandal.
Okay. 3?
Hang on a second.
was trying to get them to kind of stretch their legs for what they were about to go through. I mean, obviously to honor him with a sacrifice, but the whole 3 days journey thing, it's like you're about to do a lot of walking. Maybe you should build a little bit of muscle memory.
Maybe.
Oh, maybe. That's why they increased the workload.
Huh.
Build up some.
There's always a reason. There's always a reason.
And the only other thing I was thinking, how did the Canaanites, Hittites, the Amorites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites get this land of milk and honey? I know I don't expect to come to an answer, but I'm just like,
They were the ones that were there already.
but right, I get that,
But I mean, they were there. They were there when they were the ones that settled there when they split up the nations from Tower of Babel, and that's the one. They were there when Abraham went through there.
So and this is an assumption, but I'm guessing people using divination or certain things or mighty men being able to kind of pick over the simple man. Like, I want that plot of land. Fight,
Right.
Right. Okay.
I am Shandor from the village in the north. Right. That type of stuff.
And then you can't understand them because your language has just been confounded. So it's like,
Right.
I'm just gonna go and go.
Totally off topic, but have you seen the commercials for the little universal translator that they're selling now?
I've seen some, yes.
Where you can pick the language of whatever country you're in and speak into it. Can you tell me where I can purchase toilet paper? And then it'll say it in their language.
Yeah, they always respond like that after they yes.
Okay.
Hey, the computer's talking.
But every woman shall borrow of her neighbor and of her that sojourneth in her house jewels of silver and jewels of gold and remnant, and ye shall put them upon your sons and upon your daughters, and ye shall spoil the Egyptians. Interesting. It sounds like they're allowed to wear it because later on you were supposed to bring your offerings of gold and whatever to build the temple items, right? So I'm thinking it's interesting because they were able to take these things with them for various reasons. And hypothetically, let's say it's for one of the reasons are like, you could wear them on your sons and your daughters, right? So then aesthetically, vainly speaking, they were allowed to wear this jewelry. And then when they got to that place, doesn't it say like, bring what you're like, serve, like bring with a happy heart, like bring what your heart desire is to bring, right? Then sometimes some people were bringing too much. He had to stop them, right? So basically he was giving them gold and maybe they could keep it. But then later on, we need stuff for the temple, tools, but he doesn't say, bring all your gold and silver to the temple and we're going to use it all. He's like, bring your offerings, but bring it with a happy heart. And then so on and so on and so on. Right.
Okay,
so I know, but it's connected to this thing here. Oh, okay. Oh, I have some stuff to say about this too. Okay. Carry on.
About what? Huh?
Oh no, I'm in the next chapter.
When
and behold, chapter 4. Okay, chapter 4. I got a bunch of stuff off of this one. Starting
I
verse
don't
6.
know.
Anybody got anything before verse 6?
Wait. No.
Okay. Put now thine hand into thy bosom, and he put his hand into his bosom, and when we took it out, behold, his hand was as leprous as snow. Right? And then it goes on to explain that these signs shall you show to the Egyptians, but we don't read about that, about him turning into a leper in front of Pharaoh.
Right. And I find it interesting that these Egyptians were experiencing pain and trauma and burden and then some and then some and then some.
Right.
So, Abba is rescuing you. look out for the pain and sorrow and extra burden that you might experience in
Right.
the process.
And then even verse 8 says, and it shall come to pass if they will not believe thee, neither hearken to the voice of the first sign, that they will believe the voice of the latter sign.
Like the last sign or the next sign? Does latter mean last or does latter mean the next?
He gave them 2 signs, so latter means the next.
But then they didn't believe the
rod
next.
into the rod into the snake,
Right.
and then hand leprous as snow.
And they didn't believe either of them. And then he gave them another sign.
But we don't have a recording of him doing the leper sign,
Oh.
is what I'm saying.
Oh. Hmm. He conveniently left that out when he was writing this book. Oh, Moses.
Talking about the leper days.
We just didn't want to admit that he was one, or that he was whatever. No, he wasn't a leper. It's not that.
Okay.
Hi.
After verse 8, you got anything? I don't have anything until verse 19. I don't know what I wrote down, though. Oh, it's just a confirmation of what it was back in the previous chapter, right? The Lord said unto Moses and Midian, Go, return into Egypt, for all the men are dead which sought thy life. So just a confirmation. Pharaoh's dead. Probably the brethren of the...
She's not wise.
All right. We get to see. We didn't have a heart attack live. You saw it here first. Huh. Boy, was she red. I don't know what happened. Okay. You got anything after 19?
Wait.
What? What?
I'm like got really hot. Oh my gosh. He was trying to show you something. He just bought me a bottle of wine. And so he was trying to show you guys, and I quickly stopped the thing, because I don't want you to know what I have.
Want to know what kind of example are you setting for everybody that when you're presented
exactly
the clothes start coming off? This is a family show.
That's what my kids thought one time. Mom, you're drinking wine. Does that mean you're going to get naked? Like our brother Noah, remember? Okay. Oh my gosh, it's still really hot.
Okay.
Okay, wait, no, I have something.
Yeah, you still haven't said it yet.
Okay, is it in chapter 4? It was about when Moses was like, I'm a slow of speech, and then Abba says something about, okay, fine. We'll talk to Aaron. Where does he say that?
That's down a little bit further.
Okay. Is it in chapter 4 or is it in chapter 5? Oh, wait, maybe it's in chapter 5.
See, that's why you're supposed to have a notepad.
I can't. No, it doesn't work that way.
Chapter 4, verse 14.
What?
Chapter 4, verse 14.
Sorry, squeeze me. 14. Wait, see,
Yep. 14, 15. 16.
Okay, wait. Okay, so you know what I was thinking?
No.
When he says, Aaron speaks really well. Okay. It made me think of how yes, we all know that he chose Moses first. Moses was his first pick. Not because he could speak well. Not because he was really good at public speaking. Not because ABCDEFG, but because there was something about him that made him qualified to be what Abba wanted him to be. Now, did Abba already have an organized priesthood before all of this because he knows the end from the beginning and he had a plan and all this other stuff? That's subjective. Okay, so I was thinking about how Aaron screwed up, right? A few times. And then his sons. What if we, like, just because we see the person that is more qualified than us, they speak better, they don't have public, they speak in public really well and la 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 la, and they're really good at it, but they're not Abba's first choice. You are. And that, like, to each of us, right? Like, in that moment when you know that Abba is calling you to do something specifically and you feel so ill-equipped. Like, he didn't equip Moses except for taking care of sheep. And I mean, I guess that's pretty annoying, but ultimately the damage that we can cause when we pass off a task that Abba wants us to do, like, what if Moses took on the task without complaining and making Abba upset? Going, fine, I'll pick Aaron. Like, we don't want that to happen in our lives where Abba picks you. He's going to get the job done with or without you, but he's picking you. And then we're like, no, pick so-and-so because we're all so humble and
I'm no good for that.
All this other stuff. And then they pick somebody like Gwen that, I mean, I'm just.
So it kind of goes to the cliche that we hear so often that God doesn't call the qualified, he qualifies the called.
Yeah. And even in that, he doesn't change us. I mean, just being with him changes us, but he doesn't change who we are. He probably wasn't going to, heal Moses's speech issue because he wants to use our weaknesses. Because he's supposed to be exalted, just because, like, I don't know where I said this the other day, maybe it was with John or somebody else, probably with John. I was like, all the people that are getting, yes, it was to John. I'm like, all these people that are getting prepared, that's awesome, great. So then God doesn't have to show up at your house. Hang on a second. Don't we want him to show up?
Kind of like the comedian talking about his favorite hoot. His hoot of all hoots was the Pope Mobile, the bulletproof car that the Pope drives around in after he got shot, because you wouldn't want to get shot and killed and have to go stand in front of Jesus now, would you?
Oh, yeah. I mean, if he can make your hand turn into leprous and then put it back, he can do whatever he wants.
Yep.
He can do whatever he wants, and we can prepare all we want. And I think we should, in the sense of just being wise, not because of like fear of danger or trauma, just being wise. What if the power goes out? Make sure we have some perishables that, just in case the fridge goes down and everything in the fridge goes bad. Well, that's okay. We have a couple cans of soup.
Right. But it's when preparation becomes an idol that it becomes something different.
Yeah, or that you're depending on what you've prepared to rescue you or protect you or to all of these things. Like, our brain's not supposed to be there. Our brain's supposed to be like, always be prepared for anything, but not just like the sky falling.
Shoes upon your feet.
Yeah, the end. And he'll tell you, go to the Egyptians and get their gold and silver. They just gave it to them? These Egyptians? You know what I mean?
All their firstborn.
Well, I mean, still.
Okay, so let's look at this in chapter 5, verse 3. Was this a sign? This goes back to the leper hand, I think. And they said, God, the God of the Hebrews hath met us. Let us go. We pray thee 3 days' journey into the desert and sacrifice unto the Lord our God, lest he fall upon us with pestilence.
Okay, what we were talking about earlier about the water, right? The bitter water, and we're like, like if we don't do something, then, or if we complain about something, then, yeah. Yes, I'm having hot flashes.
All good, homie.
I'm just naturally red like this.
Am I so red?
So. Yes, you're making funny noises too.
Come on, mate.
Yeah.
Calling me a dog. Ooh. Okay, sorry. I'm just trying to give you bait. Take off your. Yes. Exactly.
Okay. We better hurry because she's running out of clothes.
Oh, that's so much better. Thank you.
So this is going on about the burdens and everything. And then in verse 9, let their more work be laid upon the men, that they may labor therein, and let them not regard vain words. Verse 8, in the tally of bricks, the tale of bricks, which they did make heretofore, ye shall lay upon them. They shall not diminish thereof, for they be idle. Therefore they cry, saying, let us go sacrifice to our God. But they have more work, but they're not getting anything else more done. And I just wrote down here, it's inflation. They're working harder to get the same amount.
Oh,
That kind of made me think about today's culture too, and it sort of kind of, in a way, goes back to the preparation thing, because
Right.
in a sense, make yourself the idol. I work hard. I'm doing this. It's all me, and in the culture,
your hands.
right. It's like there's so many people that and they are hard workers. That's something to commend, but you can self-righteously make yourself an idol.
Yeah.
Because you've earned it's me, which is, kind of the lie that the enemy, it's not all of a sudden thing. It's a subtle whisper. And the psychology of I'm working so hard, I mean, it is something to be proud of, but then it becomes I'm doing this, me, and I've forgotten that God's blessed me with it because I worked for it. So
I can't remember that scripture we were just talking about, the God of your hands.
Right.
Don't worship the God of your hands.
Yep. That was recent.
Yeah.
But to think about that, because I mean, now we're experiencing something very similar where we still do our 40-hour work week, except where they've reduced it to avoid paying you insurance. So you have to get 2 or 3 jobs. And then the package of cereal at the store is getting smaller. The loaf of bread is getting smaller. The price is going up. You're doing the same amount of work for less.
Yeah. I was just having this talk with my stepdaughter about, I want the girls to, finish school, whatever that means. But I don't want them to strive after
Going to finishing school, drink with their pinky. Okay.
like get a good trade, be capable, be useful, have skills. But then this concept of I need to make $30 an hour so that I can pay for my rent and my insurance and my toys and my this. So then you're a slave to the taskmaster because you wanted to have 40 boats and 50 jet skis and 30 million horses or whatever have you. But if you just get a really good job, become really independent, get yourself a tiny house, find yourself a really good spot, then you own it. So then you're not having to feel like you have to work 1 million hours a week just to make ends meet. You own something. You physically own this thing now. The only thing you have to pay for is like pad rent or power, right. And then you have, if let's say you're making $30 an hour and you're still in a tiny house, but you don't have to, but that extra stuff, you have the freedom to bless others, provide for your neighbor.
But doesn't it also go to what we were talking about before the show, in that there's different mindsets of people that want to just have more and more and more.
Yeah.
There's the culture that we have that chops down a forest to build a couple of houses. And then there's other cultures where the whole village chops down one tree and they make several structures out of that by overlaying it with things that are reproduced all the time. And they have enough They don't have a ton of stuff, but they have enough. Right? I hate to say it. It's like the bumper sticker that says, live simply so that others may simply live.
Yeah. At worst case scenario, own land, but I mean, I was saying to my daughter-in-law, or not my daughter-in-law, my stepdaughter, I was saying to her, I said, look, like, there's places here, I don't know where everybody's different, right? There's places here that if you have like a mobile home, let's say an 18-foot, 14-foot trailer, sure you have a vehicle that can pull it, but there are RV parks here that you can get free Wi-Fi, access to laundry, coin laundry, showers, power, and water. Water's free. You pay for the power and your own coin laundry, but everything else is free. Free sewage, free lawn maintenance.
Get your free sewage. Okay, sorry.
$3,000 a year. $3,000 a year. You have someone that shovels your walkway and your driveway. You have someone that mows your lawn. You have the freedom to walk and be close to neighbors and all this other stuff. So if you're younger, what a great way to grow and build something. And then you have equity. If you lose your job, you don't lose your house. It's your house. So
try not paying property taxes, eh?
Okay, I have to go now.
Oh, it's like that.
It's like 7:00. And I can
wait.
hear my back.
We have a bottle of wine right here for you. You can stay longer.
This is the third bowl of popcorn that they've made. I can smell it. The house is reeking of burnt popcorn.
Wine and popcorn?
No, the wine is just for me.
All right. Thank you very much. Love you. Have fun. Tell everybody hi.
Okay. I love you all. Talk to you really, really soon.
Okay. Yeah. Right. Okay. I'm not having a stripping contest with you. So.
Please don't.
It's bad enough stripping all that hair off your face, you young whelp. All right. So, anybody else got anything from 5? What do you got?
Well, no, I made my point about the culture of the. I think, Gwen put it better with the God of your hands, but that really, that's what really stuck out to me. Not that I'm, never mind. I won't go into that.
Okay. So, anybody else in the chat got anything? What do you got? Talk to us. All right.
I don't have my little computer, so I can't see what they're saying.
Oh.
Yell at the screen, people.
Yell louder. Louder. All right.
I noticed that even in 22, then Moses turned to the Lord and said, "O Lord, why have you done evil to this people? Why did you ever send me? For since I came to Pharaoh to speak to your name, he has done evil to this people." He's blaming it on God.
Right.
Like,
and that gets answered at the very beginning of the next chapter, which is awesome sauce. So tune in next time.
Mm-hmm. We should start doing teasers, dramatic.
I know we need the organ music. We used to have this thing here called there was Dial a Story, where you call it up and they had the organ music like that when things would get all dramatic and happy or whatever. Get dramatic and it'd be drama on the organ. And it was always somebody that did something that like disobeyed their parents, and then they fell down a mine shaft and then got rescued. And then they're like, "I understand now, Dad, what it means when the pastor was saying that we're supposed to honor our father and mother." And then it'd be like, "Do you want to call Jesus Christ into your life?" And everybody used it. Everybody would call up to see what the story of the day was, right? Mm-hmm. You dial a story. That's what we had to go through before internet, all you young people.
I could make little teasers, little dramatic teasers. Like tune in next week in First Kings, and he's like, "Yo, Bathsheba."
That's the way it should be.
Is that Kings? Is that? I don't know. It's close.
It's in, yeah, it's
Yep.
Golden Kings. Yep.
Samuel. But
Yeah.
we're not there yet, so you have to tune in.
I saw all of that, The Fire of Yah. I was waiting for some other feedback. And I was kind of wondering about Stinky Sheep. What is that she's talking about? And we were watching because Gwen said, "I will take off my socks." I still have my shoes on though.
Me too. I don't like being barefoot.
It's spring and the dog is shedding. My toes are hairy enough.
Maybe I'll start walking around town barefoot though.
Yep. So everybody, we're going to let you go. We will be back on 7th day for chapters 6 through 10 of Exodus.
Lord
Will
willing.
Pharaoh let Moses go? What will he do to the Hebrew people? Tune in next time for the word. Okay. Everybody, love you all. Thank you, Landon. Thank you, Gwen. Yeah, you all have a beautiful evening. And remember, Jesus said he is always with us. So talk to him. All right. Love you all. Bye. Bye.